let you down. If winter stays a black December, I'm on my way. I'll look after you. I won't let you down. If April showers like tears fall down these love arms, we'll watch the clouds roll by. This time I won't let you down. 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 The summer breeze with clear blue skies, those wondrous days, how I remember you. I won't let you down. The best laid plans, and now your warm blood runs through my veins, and all I ask is why? Where was I? I won't let you down. 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 No, I won't let you down. Not this time. Not this time.
Hello, everybody. This is Monica and Carrie Hall, and it's Sunday. And as you know, who have been following us every Sunday, it is our special musical guest interview. And I'm very, very excited about today because we actually interviewed, I believe it was Rai, from this group. Oh gosh, it was over a year ago. The time flies by so fast, but we have someone new with us today. And Carrie, would you please introduce us?
I would love to, because this is a fabulous band to begin with the new addition of Sam Stevens.
Hello.
And you. Welcome to It Matters. We just want to tell you right off from the beginning, Sam, that you guys are fabulous. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Sam, World5 actually started with 5 close friends.
Yep.
They were professional musicians, and life and personal projects kind of kept them separated for a while, but they kept the music alive and became World5. Let's talk a little bit about your entrance into the band and what brought you to World5.
Okay, well, I've been a musician for a very long time. I'm the new singer, if you like, the new singer and songwriter of the band.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah.
Hello to all the listeners out there. As you can tell from my accent, I'm English. I'm speaking to you from Nottingham over here in the UK. So hello, and thanks for welcoming me on the show. I've been a musician for a very long time. My dad was a jazz guitarist and all this sort of stuff. And I've got my own business. I run a design agency and all this sort of stuff now. And so I thought, instead of buying flash cars and nice apartments, I live in a nice place and so on already. I've got a nice car. So what do I do with the rest of my money, having always been a musician? So every year I produce an album. I write an album and a bunch of songs. And it just so happened that when I was recording them last year, in October, funny enough, last year, almost a year ago today, I wrote and recorded about 12 songs at a place called Karma Studios, which is in Thailand. And it's absolutely beautiful out there, it really is. So I recorded these songs, and there was one of them called I Won't Let You Down, which is, it turns out to be World5's new single. But what happened was, at the same time as I was over in Thailand, on the other side of the world somewhere, there was a guy called Pat who used to be the singer for World5, and he got nice and busy with some other things, some other projects that he was doing, and so decided he wanted to move on from the band and do some other things. And so, of course, they didn't have a singer, and this is where we get the small violins out we playing. But they didn't have a singer. And so what happened was Ray was trawling the internet for inspiration of the sorts of guys that could come and be a singer. And out of the blue, I think he auditioned something like 300, 400 people or something like that. And out of the blue, he heard I Won't Let You Down, which is completely different to the previous World5 songs. It's got a real kind of English, sort of European vibe to it, but it's also got the traditional sort of World5 sound. And he called me. Now, Ray has got a really thick German accent, a really strong German accent. And I didn't know whether when he called me, I didn't know whether it was an instruction or a demand, or whether it was to me on the phone. He said, "My name is Ray. You want to be in this band," like this. And I didn't know whether it was insisting or whether it was a question. You know. Or else. So I said, that's great. I'll come over to Sweden. He lives in Sweden. And we started recording and writing an album. And we finished all the tracks now. We've written all the tracks. And
great.
There's a fantastic record company called Spectra Records. And World5 is signed to Spectra Records, and I've got them really well. I mean, the whole of the group, all the rest of the group, and the record company, and various other people that we've met through the band, they've all been really kind to me and made me feel really sort of settled in, you know. Because, of course, being the only English guy and the new member of the band kind of thing, you know, it's sometimes it's a bit daunting. But we've had a great time. It's interesting the way we put the music together. Because I have to say, whilst we're a band, and normally bands, when they write, they'll stand in some sweaty studio somewhere.
Right. And, they're together.
Yeah. They'll all play along until somebody likes something. But we've been writing independently, like file sharing, because we've got Stefan, who's in New Zealand, which is on the other side of the world to me. We've got Ray, who's German, but he's in Sweden. And we've got Jimmy, who's also Swedish. He's over there. But Joe Gabito, who's an incredible guitar player. He's incredible. He's in Austin, Texas. And the record company are based in LA and Texas, I think, as well. So we're all over the world. And that's the idea of the band, really, is to see what it's like if you can connect different styles, different people, different ideas, and how it works melding those together. And it's been quite a revelation. The interesting thing about normally when people, I was talking to somebody the other day, they said, well, what's the difference between being in one of your other bands that you've been in and these guys? I said, well, you don't have to sit in the studio for like 3 hours while the lead guitarist gets his solo piece right, because we've got our own studio time, and we, for instance, I'll do my vocals, then I'm finished. And then the keyboard player will do his stuff on the other side of the world, and the bass player will do his stuff, and then we just get all the files and put them together. So it's been fun. I've been over to see Ray from the band, but I haven't met anybody else from the band yet. But we talk a lot on Skype and things, you know.
So you've seen them, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Stephen, would happen if you guys actually got to perform live? What do you think would occur then?
I think we'd party for a few days and then see what happened after that.
Just the excitement. What I think, Sam, it's remarkable in a way to me that you're doing something that people couldn't do years ago because there was no internet, there was no Skype, there was no way to easily get access to files.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's wonderful also that you have people from, you know, all different walks of life, all different nationalities, but they have this love of music.
Yeah, really. I mean, some of the guys in the band have been serious session musicians and, you know, music teachers and involved in composition and running studios and so on forever. They really are. You know, I'm of a certain age, but I'm also the baby of the band. So it's been around for years and years and years doing the thing. Purely because, and it's interesting because this is a driving force behind us. We're not doing this to make money. It'd be nice if we covered our costs and all that sort of stuff while we're doing that. But we're doing this purely for the passion of creating music. As I said, I run my own company. I will be doing music whatever happens. You know, it's in my blood. It sort of drives me.
Sure,
and the
it's
same
one of
with
your
the other
passions in life, right?
But it's the same as the other guys, and they do their own thing. But we've got this fascination about World5 and putting 5 guys together from all over the globe, and it's not just putting 5 sort of musicians together. More interestingly, is putting 5 completely different people with completely different influences, and sort of trying to get a melting pot of all of our styles and finding out where it works. I mean, my influences are people like Brian Ferry from Roxy Music and David Bowie and In Excess and some of the, you know, more European and left field artists, and a lot of the music from the 80s and that we had in the UK and that started in the UK, Spandau Ballet and people like this, you know, Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet, all these sort of things. Now that's my passion, and we meld that with Joe DeVito's passion for people like, I don't know, the Eagles, and you know, lots of the traditional sort of fantastic American rock bands. And then Ray's been a crazy German drummer and likes everything. You know, he's into anything from Toto to just about anything. You know,
So he's pretty open, huh?
but I mean, it's been interesting to find a way that it works, and I suppose you find that with any band. If you're able to sort of sit back and listen to other people's opinions, then you find where you fit in is the 5th piece of the jigsaw puzzle, and it's worked really, really well. I mean, the tracks are great. I Won't Let You Down is a fantastic track I did on my own, and then we recorded it. But some of the new stuff is just lovely. It really is.
Yeah. It's amazing to me, Sam, that how, like you said, you have 5 different musicians from all over the world. How do you kind of meld that together on the internet? Now, do you guys talk to each other and say, I like this, I don't like that? How does that come together for you guys?
Well, basically, it's because Ray's German and really, really bossy. He tells
Okay.
We love Ray.
We like Ray. He's a nice
I'm
guy.
just teasing.
Oh, but we didn't work with him. No.
I'm just teasing. He's great. When he listens to this, he'll laugh because he knows I'm just teasing. Really, what we do is, without being too precious about what we send to other people. For instance, my vocal, if somebody says, "Oh, can we change this line, change that line?" Instead of me saying, "No, it's got to be the way it's written," you listen to other people, and it's kind of a democracy in a way. That listen to other people, and you go with the flow really until it works. You know. And
You're more concerned about the end product than your ego.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you know, we're all a little bit older. You know, we're not kids. I used to have a big ego when I was a kid.
Sure.
But we're a little bit older, and we're a bit more sort of. We've got a bit more perspective, if you like, and we can see what the end product's going to be, kind of thing. But yeah, I've got to say, I mentioned Spectra Records, the record company.
Yes.
And I was talking to Bobby Collins, who's the head there. I was talking to somebody about the record company. They said, "Well, why does it work?" And I said, "Well, you know, I've worked recently. Like I said, over the last few years, I've been doing my own thing, recording albums. I've probably recorded an album on my own with other musicians, maybe once every in the last sort of 6 or 7 years. And so, but being involved with other managers and being involved with other people for many years, a manager would say, why don't we try and do like a pop hit like Katy Perry? And I'm like, with my voice? Are you sure? Or why don't we try and do some Thai pop or some heavy rock or some jazz or something? And so instead of doing that, it's lovely being involved with Spectra Records, because Bobby and the company just said, hey, why don't you just do what you do? You know, why don't you stop trying to do something that might not come naturally? Why don't you just do what you do? And it's brought us to a place where we're actually creating music. We're actually making these sounds and these ideas, because we're sort of appeasing people who are like us. We're playing to people who are like us, who like sort of that UK 80s feel and a bit of Eagles and a bit of this. It's the people who are into exactly the same music that we are. And it's probably not politically correct to say this, but also people that don't really like the Katy Perry sort of standard pop music scene. They've got a bit more, more sort of generous in their sensibilities. A bit, you know, they've got a bit more style about what they want, you know. Because some people feel left behind by the pop market now, you know.
Yeah, they do. And the whole thing is, when you try to be someone else, it's not going to come out authentic. It's not, the feeling's not going to be there that
Absolutely.
you bring when you do something that just is you.
Yeah.
And it shows, I think.
I think it does, and you know, I think when you play and you perform, I think any audience, I think they can spot whether you're being genuine, or whether this is manufactured, or whether somebody else has told you to do this, and we're just doing. And you know, I truly, sincerely hope that people like what we're doing, and I'm sure there are people out there. The world is a massive place. The world's a huge place, and so with the idea of World5, we want to get out to all 5 corners of the world, really, you know.
That's right.
So we're really excited about this, and we'll have possibly another single out in January, and then the album at some point, sort of middle of next year, maybe sort of April.
Yeah, let us know when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know. So, speaking of music, why don't we take a break and we'll listen to some of World5 music, and then I want to come back and talk to Sam 2 things about the new song that came out, and what he thinks of the indie music world these days, since he's been in it a while. So we'll do that.
Here you go, folks. Enjoy.
Stand up and be strong, 'cause people are dying and war is raging round. The heartbeat of the world is strong. It's beating loudly through her children and her songs. Find the place where you belong, to strengthen the heartbeat of
people to It Matters Radio, and we are interviewing the very fabulous World5, and in particular, Sam Stevens, lead singer. And I love this description of you, Stephen. Quintessential London charmer. What do you think of that title, and how did you acquire that title?
Yeah, there's a story behind this. I know it.
There's a story behind that, Sam.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've always been told I'm a bit of a charmer, and that's the English thing. That's what we English gents do, and I'm quite proud of being a gentleman as well. And treating, you know, when you say gentleman, you obviously think about how you treat women, but it's nice how you treat everybody. I'm a charmer. I like people to like me, and I like my family and friends and treat them well, but also strangers. It's good to be kind to strangers too, you know. Right, so that's where the charm offensive comes in.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Sam, you have a new song. Well, actually, you've recorded it before, but it's now part of the band called I Won't Let You Down. Talk a little bit about the genesis of that song and why you said, hey, let's add it to World5, the new CD. Okay.
Well, I recorded an album on my own this time last year. And that was in Thailand, a place called Karma Studios in Thailand. And I finished the tracks. It was produced by Sean Edwards, and it was just great. I mean, the studio were fantastic. And I posted a few things on SoundCloud and Reverb Nation and so on. And Ray from the band found out he really liked the song. So when we decided that we'd be working together, when I was bullied into working with World5. That's a joke. I wasn't bullied. That's a joke. And,
he'll get that, won't he?
Okay, he'll understand that. Yeah.
When they kindly let me be the singer of the band, they said, "Look, this track, I Won't Let You Down, is great. Why don't we do it as a World5 track?" I said, "Of course." So what we did, we took. Do you know what stems are? You know, stems of music, the individual instruments and so on, when you've recorded them in the studio. I gave them all the individual instruments, and Joe Gavito down in Texas, who is our awesome guitar player that we've got down there. He also produced this single by taking off some of the guitars that I'd originally done, putting his own on there, and Ray put his own drums on there, and so all of a sudden it became a World5 track instead of a Sam Stevens track, which added something extra to it. It sounds great. It sounds really good. But it was quite a departure. Sorry.
You must have been proud, though, I mean, of yourself for them to embrace that song.
Yeah, of course. Of course you're proud.
Gosh, I think that's wonderful. And he tracked you down because of the song also, so that means a lot. And I know Ray's very picky.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Well, yeah, we get on great. We get on really, really well. But the track itself has a certain sound. Now, people keep saying to me when I'm talking to people about the music we're doing, they say to me, "Do you know what? This is a Bond theme. This is a Bond theme. If you're James Bond, if you've ever heard one." And maybe the listeners can write to you and give them, or write to us as well, and give us their opinion of what they think of the track. Somebody said, in England, I'm going to tell you a little thing about England. In England, we've got Cadbury chocolate, which is normal chocolate, something like your Hershey's and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But then we've got a real high-class chocolate, and it's called Galaxy, and it's really smooth and creamy and lovely and velvety. This is our Galaxy chocolate we have here. Now, somebody once said in a little piece they wrote about my vocal on this track, they said it sounds like Sam Stevens got a Galaxy chocolate, warm, velvety vocal over the top. So maybe your listeners can tell me, or tell us whether
if
they
that's
think
the truth. If
yeah.
that's the truth, yeah.
That's the idea. It's supposed to have that warm, sort of sensual sort of feel to it. You know?
Where do you do most of the writing of the songs, or do you?
Yeah. Well, what we tend to do, or what we've done before, is taken initial ideas. Now, I've got a songwriting partner called Chris. I'm just going to have a drink, so excuse me.
Oh,
Cheers,
of course. I've got my tea right here, so it's too early here for me to drink, but I'd join you if I was there.
My songwriting partner is Chris Porter, who's great, and he was working with me when I was in Thailand last year. And every now and again, he comes up with a little something, and I'd sort of extrapolate it. I'd sort of stretch it out and turn it into a track, or I'll do a bit of vocal and he'll do something. But then that's transferred to what we do in World5 now. And for instance, Ray said to me, "I've got this track. It's fantastic." But the musicianship was excellent. It was absolutely top draw. but I didn't like, or I couldn't get my head around singing like the other singer was singing it. You see?
Yes.
I mean, it's the stuff that they've done before. So I said, I'll tell you what, I really like the vibe or the feel of the track. So why don't you give me the track as an instrumental? I'll take the vocal off. I won't even follow the melody that was on there or the lyrics or anything. I'll completely write a new vocal to go over the top. And we did that a few times. So it's kind of us collaborating and writing together. And it seems to work.
Yeah, and it's a little piece of all of you in each song. And it's amazing. But, you know, I'm ready to hear another song, and we're going to take a break, and then we'll see if Carrie can get back here and join us. We'll be right back, folks.
Here we go again, the same old thing again. There always seems to be a problem. Why can't we work it out? Why won't you let me in? You know together we can solve it. Don't walk away from me now. We need to talk about it. We have to save this love somehow. We can't live without it. Whatever our problems may be, it still comes down to you and me. I said I'd give you a lifetime. I promised you. Do you remember when we were the best of friends and everything came so easily? Now something's changed. We're on a different page. How can you say that you would leave me after all that we've been through? How can we let this happen? Forever is more than just a word, and love is more than passion. Whatever our problems may be, it still comes down to you and me. I said I'd give you a lifetime. I promised you. Whatever our problems may be, it still comes down to you and me. I said I'd give you a lifetime. I promised you. Together a lifetime. I promised you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Wasn't it a great song? Great music. And those of you who saw our interview about a year and a half ago when Ray was on, you'll notice there's a subtle difference between the music. And this always happens when you get a new person in because they bring something, especially when that person is doing lyrics and doing vocals. And I have to say, though, you are a wonderful addition. Not that the other vocalist and such was bad, but it's refreshing. It's something new. It's something exciting.
Yeah, well, this was really the idea is when writing and getting into the music, I suppose when Ray was looking for a new singer, or when the rest of the band were looking for a singer, they had a choice, didn't they?
Yes.
They could find somebody who was the same as Pat or any of the other singers that were there. They could find somebody who was the same, who sounded the same, was maybe a little bit taller or whatever, you know. But they decided to do something completely different. And let's face it, it's completely different.
Yeah, but it's great also. But you know, that was one thing that Ray had said to us when he was on the show and we had interviewed him, was that he likes to get new ideas and he likes to grow and he likes to try new things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he thought that would,
I think that kind of
excuse me, he thought that would happen because they got people from different parts of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're working in any creative industry, or if you're working in the arts or TV or media or whatever it is, you can keep on doing the same thing. But if you're a creative person like Ray is, or the rest of the band are, or I am, or you are indeed, you like to keep it interesting for yourself by doing something different and creating something that's different. You know, a painter, if you look at any of the masters, I studied fine art, I did a degree in fine art at university. If you study any of the masters, they had their periods, the blue period, this period, that period, where they changed. You know, it's almost like, and if you think I'm a big fan of David Bowie's music, and he actually recreated.
Oh my God, he changed so much,
He recreated his whole self every couple of 3 years or something, purely to keep it interesting.
I mean, look at the last album he put out.
Yeah, Black Star,
So different.
Absolutely. But you could still tell that it was David Bowie.
Yeah, he's one of those people you hear and you know right away.
Yeah. Or if you look at people like Prince or Michael Jackson, you know, some really big names, really big creative force behind. And I'm not saying by any means we're on the par of these people, because they're absolute superstars.
Yes.
But I still maintain that a change is really good for creativity. It makes you think differently. It keeps it interesting for you. And all of a sudden, when it's interesting, you have that. You have the energy again. You have the energy to try something. It becomes exciting, you know.
No, absolutely. And I think people who are fans of you, of World5, love the fact that they never know what's going to come next. They don't know what you're going to bring to them.
But I'm telling you right now, you have not heard anything yet. Seriously, if the album is going to be incredible. I'm really, really excited about this.
Oh, I can't wait!
It's such a melting pot and a big jigsaw puzzle of lots of different influences and ideas. Anything from sort of quite heavy rock down to some real smooth melodies and so on. It's got everything in there, really.
So you might have some ballads in there, maybe here.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's all quite exciting. It does make the blood pump, which is really good, you know.
Yeah, well, that's exciting. I love all types of music, and I think there are many people who do.
I think if you're one of my guiding forces, my guiding lights or ideas is that I'm a musician, and people say to me, "What music do you like?" And I've got artists that I like, but you know, I grew up on people like Led Zeppelin and some of the
me too.
and then through some of the 80s bands, and then Prince and people like Jeff Buckley. I adore Jeff Buckley and so on. There's loads. There's a myriad of. But I think if you're a musician and you're creative, you're always trying to pick up little influences and ideas from everywhere. And I sing and write almost every day. And I think you have to have a complete open mind and just accept everything. It's like a force of, you know, the force of a universal force. You just accept everything in, and whatever you are as a person, you find what comes out of you, having been influenced by things, you know, which I think is a great way of looking at it. So people say to me, "What do you like?" I say, "I like everything."
I like music.
When we were kids, living just north of London, my mum's record collection. I used to sit on. This is when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age. We had a big thing. It's called a radiogram, which is like old record player with a radio built into it, so with a lift-up lid. And
yes, I've seen those.
Yes, antique thing. I mean, this was back in the 1850s when I was a kid. You know, I'm very old. But my mum had the Beatles' White Album. She had an album of Strauss waltzes. She had Mozart's Eine kleine Nachmusik. She had the best of the Carpenters and Deep Purple's one of the Deep Purple albums. I can't remember what it was called.
Any
but
Elvis?
She had Elvis and Tom Jones, and I think this is where I got some of my influence from. People like Burt Bacharach.
Yes.
Some of his songwriting, and there was some incredible. It was like an incredible melting pot of influences for me even then. So I was never I never was pigeonholed into one type of music. So, and it kind of created me to be open and acceptable to everything.
Excuse me.
Ooh, there we are.
Yeah, I think I caught a cold, so I apologize for coughing.
That's-
How about Mom? Was she talented at all as far as music, singing, or writing?
My dad played guitar. My mum, she adored music and still does. You know, she absolutely, I mean, things like Christmas presents or birthday presents, this sort of stuff. We'll give her like CDs and things.
Yeah.
And she adored music, but I've never heard her sing a note.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I bet she thought she was a terrible singer, so she was too bashful to do it.
My grandma was hysterical. My grandma was really funny. She used to hum and sing to herself all the time while she, we'd only see the back of her as she was cooking in the kitchen and things.
And she'd be humming. Yeah. Mom didn't even sing in the shower.
But my dad's funny as well. My dad's really funny. He loves like singing words. He can never remember the words to any song.
He makes his own up.
Makes his own up, yeah. Someone left the cake out in the yard and all that sort of stuff. He's hysterical. He really is.
But haven't you ever heard a song and you thought a word or so was something, and you sang it like that for years, and then all of a sudden you find out that, oops.
Bob Marley's track is This Love, I think it was called, and there's a phrase in it, and people said it used to sound like with a roof rack over my head. Which it wasn't. It was with a roof right over my head.
Right, and I bet for years.
There's loads of them. There's loads of examples.
It's just so funny. I think everybody's done that. So I was going to ask you what you do for fun, but I bet you this music is what you do for fun because you have your own design company.
Yeah.
What do you design?
I design schools.
I
design schools.
Really?
Yes.
How interesting is that?
I work with architects and educational authorities, the people that build schools and so on, and we do lots of things like working with primary school kids groups to ask them what they like and so on. And I run a design business, and it's great fun. It really is good fun.
And that's creative in itself.
Yeah.
You know, because you have to fit all those pieces in for their needs.
Interesting, because I explain what I do for work to many people by saying my work is really, really simple. Actually, all you do is you talk to people, because as you can tell, I talk a lot, and I
that's a gift.
But, what you do is you talk to people, but you also listen twice as much as you talk normally. And the more they tell you, the more you can analyze it, the more you take in, and then all you do is you take in their ideas. We're talking about anything from 5-year-old kids to an 80-year-old architect, and anybody in between. You take in all their ideas and their influences, and you turn it into something which is tangible. You sort of, it's almost like giving it back to them in a tangible idea. Melding ideas, like we were talking about music.
Exactly.
Melding ideas, putting them all together and giving it back to them.
I bet though, because you like to talk, and I can tell you like people, you like meeting them, you like observing them. I bet you get a lot of ideas for your songs from people you've met and things you've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was sitting on. I've written a song called Tin Man. And I was sitting on a tube train in London one day, and there was a guy there who looked really sad. He was sitting there looking really sad, and it was just the day before I'd been to see the show, like the Wizard of Oz show in one of the theatres.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And what I'd done was I connected the two ideas. So I was looking at this guy and I was trying to think about what his life was like. And why was he so sad and all this sort of stuff. And I wrote a track called Tin Man, which is, of course, from The Wizard of Oz, and he has no heart.
Yeah.
And so the whole idea was about how this guy who was lonely on the train because his relationship had fallen down and all this sort of stuff. And it worked out fine in the end. I'm pleased to say that both the film The Wizard of Oz and also my song worked out fine in the end. But yeah, I mean, constantly, I'm writing constantly. Yeah.
That's wonderful, though. So right now, I know you have a new music coming up in January or so.
Yeah.
But if they want to find World5's music that's available right now, where would you direct people?
You will go to world5music.com. World5, the number 5, yeah?
Yes.
World5music.com. And everything's on there. You can get us on there. Or just look up World5 or Sam Stevens on Facebook. And there's the Twitter address. You'll find us on there by putting World5 on Twitter. And we absolutely adore to have some feedback. And, you know, we love chatting to people. As you said, I do talk. Some people say too much. But we love to have feedback from
exactly. And it helps a lot because it tells you what people love.
Yeah.
And, you know, you might do another song, not exactly like that one, but maybe a little bit similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, as to style.
And if anything, much as yourself, I adore meeting people and talking to people, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you. I've been wanting to for a long time, and I am so happy that you have joined World5, and you're such a talent.
Thank you so much.
They're fortunate to have you, but hey, actually, these guys have no ego. They work together.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes
to
make it and to continue on strong. I hope that you will contact us when you get that new album out, or new CD out.
Definitely.
And
we'll
maybe you
probably
can come back again, and definitely we'd love to share your information because we do a newsletter every month, and we also have, you know, social media like everyone else, and we'd like to tell people how our guests are doing.
Yeah.
Do you promise?
Yeah, absolutely promise. And we've been invited to the States to do some live shows next year.
When is that? Do you know
we
yet?
we haven't got the dates set yet, but we'll probably do a couple of dates in Los Angeles, then we'll go to Seattle or San Francisco, and we'll work around the...
if you come to San Francisco, you have to let me know.
Of course.
Because I want to see you guys live. I've been wanting to ever since I heard your music.
Access all area passes and a big hug when I see you. So there we go.
Okay, that's fantastic because it's me. It matters, you know. Thank you so much again. I know it's a little bit later there than it is here, and I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us. And say hi to the guys, okay?
Yeah, take care now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.
It's all my heart, it's all my life, it's all I'm living for. It's all my heart, it's all my soul, it's you. I was living my life like an island alone. Then you appeared like a bright light at a fork in the road. So it's all I'm living for. It's all my heart, it's all my soul, it's you. It's all my heart, it's all my life, it's all I'm living for. It's all my heart, it's all my soul, it's you.
Hello to all you out there in Radioland. This is Sam Stevens from World5 speaking to you from sunny Nottingham here in the UK. They say that mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun, but I don't care. As long as you're enjoying listening to our music here on your favourite radio station, check us out on world5music.com, and we hope to see you very, very